Hello and welcome to Here's to Your Health. I'm your host, Veggie Patty, and it is my pleasure to bring you information on healthy living. Today's episode is called Amazing Transformation, and this is going to be the first in a series of episodes that we hope where we highlight regular people who have gone through some amazing transformations in their lives, either by losing weight or by helping to reverse a disease or lessen their chances of getting a particular disease. And we'll be looking for additional people to be on these shows, and I'll tell you more on the end how you can contact me if you'd like to be on one of these episodes. But for right now, I'd like to introduce you to our first guest. On the show today, we have Jeff Clemens. So thank you very much for being on the show today, Jeff.
Thank you for having me.
And you may recognize Jeff from before when we were filming at the Gluten Free Expo. Jeff talked to us a little bit there as one of the attendees of the expo, and he's also the son of our cameraman, Pat. So, Jeff, you have a story that's inspiring that I wanted you to, be on and tell the story. We have some before and after pics of you, so if we could bring those up on the screen. I'd like people to get a feel for where you started off and then where you're at now. So, can you talk a little bit about that before pic? When was that, first of all?
The before pitch was July of 2010. But really, it goes back a little bit further. I started in my high school days when I played basketball. I'm just trying to put on a little extra weight to help me improve in that area of basketball. But I really didn't take it seriously until the passing of my grandfather, which was November of 2010. Okay.
And so tell us a little bit about, during that before stage, what was your life like then?
I had some hard times. I was a little bit overweight. I had some high blood pressure, beginning stages of diabetes. But like I said, with the passing of my grandfather is really when I decided to take it up another notch and get serious about my health.
Okay, and so how did that, with your grandfather's passing, how was that a catalyst? Like, what particularly about that made you want to change your lifestyle?
Well, my grandfather passed of cirrhosis of the liver, and I did a little bit of research on that, and I wanted to improve my lifestyle, and live a more healthier life. I wanted to eat better, I wanted to train better, and I just wanted a healthier life in general.
Okay, and so you had mentioned about the pre-diabetes and high blood pressure. Now, were these things that ran in your family?
Yes.
And what types of things were the doctors telling you? Were they just telling you this was, this is something that's going to happen to you, or were they encouraging you to try to change?
Well, I remember my doctor telling me, I can't let you walk around like that with the high blood pressure. He says, we're really going to have to keep an eye on this and monitor it. Mm-hmm. So.
And they just said monitor it? They didn't give you any possible solutions?
At first, no. They didn't. They wanted to keep an eye on it because it was, again, at the beginning stages. So it was at a point where, I didn't care about what I ate, I didn't take my health seriously, so again, that was at the beginning. And then, like I said, I started taking it a little bit seriously.
Okay, and so what was that first day where you finally got that aha moment and you said, you know what, I'm going to make a change in my life? Like, how did that moment happen for you? Like, what did you do? What was your first step?
Oh, I invested in a cookbook, a bodybuilding cookbook, very inexpensive, and basically it did a lot for me. Taught me how to cook, taught me how to take a little bit, eating cleaner, getting out a lot of those processed foods and processed meats, things like that. And like I said, just eating cleaner and taking a little bit more accountability for what I put in my body. And I feel a lot better as a result of that little investment.
Okay, great. And so, and I think some people don't realize that food is a huge part of this. I mean, exercise obviously is a part of it too, because our bodies want to be active. But just what you said basically you bought a cookbook and said, well, I'm going to eat better. What were the types of things that you were eating before? You had mentioned processed foods and things, but what were some of the downfalls that you see now that you might say, I can't believe I ate that way?
Yeah, ate a lot of fast food. A lot of the any fast food place you can think of, I was eating it 2-3 times a day sometimes. It was nonstop. Drank a lot of pop, 4 or 5 pops a day, easy. When I look back now, even if I eat something that I'm not used to eating, it's like my body rejects it. If I drink a pop, I can instantly feel a change in my body, as opposed to putting nothing but water in there. So my body tells me when I'm putting something that shouldn't be in there in it.
Right.
So I can remember the days of eating the fast food, you know, the Taco Bells, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, and just having no energy, not wanting to do anything, depression, things along them lines. But now, you know, eating cleaner, the minute that I walk into the gym, you know, that's my antidepressant. That's when I feel good, and putting in that hour and a half, it's you've accomplished something, and you feel better about yourself, as opposed to sitting at home and eating burgers from fast food places.
Right. And the interesting thing is, and I think, and most people will say this, is when you're in that trap of eating the processed foods and eating the fast food, is you don't realize how bad you feel until you start eating differently. Was that true for you as well?
Yeah, I would agree with that, because it's like it's a change in your body. You know, you're putting these processed foods in your body, and you feel tired, you have no energy, and it's hard to get around too, because you have no energy. Right.
And so you went from that lifestyle into now you're a bodybuilder, correct?
That's correct.
And that was what your after picture was?
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about when the after picture was taken?
The after picture was taken, I think it was October 2011. I decided, and it all depends on the individual, what kind of goals you want to accomplish. Like you said, I like to think of myself as a bodybuilder, and I hired a coach, went along that line, and he has challenged me every single day, and to get better even. So that was a contest that he did 4 months into a 1-year program, and he's helped me as well.
Okay, and so once you started, first you said you started with buying a cookbook and changing the way that you cooked, and then at what point did you start going to the gym?
Well, again, it goes back to my high school days, so really I've been doing this on and off for 17 years, but I didn't take it as serious as I do now until the passing of my grandfather. So we're looking at about 3.5 years now.
Okay. Right, and then so, but you were saying with the picture, so the before picture was in 2010, the after was in 2011 though, but in 1 year you were able to make this transformation. Obviously you've improved since then, but within a very short time, to a lot of people, you were able to make this transformation through diet and exercise.
I think people that are trying to make a change in their body, they have to remember that 70% of it is your diet. And that's what I've learned over these last couple of years, the investment in the cookbook. And I'm still trying to get better in the kitchen. You know, I like to plan my meals ahead for the work week, you know, just to make it easier on me. And it's all trial and error. You know, you got to find out what works best for you. It's not something that you have to spend a lot of money on. You know, if there's anybody out there that can relate to my story and thinking, oh, it's a lot of money, it's not as bad as you think.
Okay. And so were there ever times where you found this change difficult? Like, how did you overcome those humps where you had to make yourself want to do it because you may have lacked motivation?
Yeah. Well, there was a time that I did give up. I had lost a job of mine back in 2003. I just gave up on everything, including working out, lifting weights, the sports that I played at the time, just gave up everything. So I've been there. I went through some depression back in them days. I say I was out of the gym for a good 4 or 5 years. Didn't even set foot back in the gym. And again, I've come back, you know, with the passing of my grandfather and trying to inspire me to get back into the gym. I didn't want to live that lifestyle anymore. I wanted to improve in my way of living.
Okay. Now, who are some role models for you that you may have looked to help inspire you for this?
Well, without a doubt, it's my current coach, Ben Pekulski. He's definitely, he's like the big brother I never had. The list goes on and on. I mean, most of the pro bodybuilders I look up to, Jay Cutler, you know, like I said, Ben Pekulski, Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Okay, and could you maybe walk us through, like people are probably curious as, what does your diet consist of now? What is your what is your workout regime? And your workout regime is going to be different than somebody who doesn't have the goals to go into bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. But can you walk us through like maybe a day in the life?
Yeah, as far as eating, nutrition-wise, I probably eat about 6 times a day. I try to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Those consist mostly of high-protein foods, especially in the morning. It's nothing but protein, high fats, vegetables. I try to get in my carbohydrates around my workout, after a workout mostly. As far as my workouts, about an hour, hour and a half tops workout, short rest in between sets. I train each body part a minimum of once a week, maybe more depending if I'm trying to improve in a certain area. But again, my workouts range anywhere from 5 days a week. I've gone 7 days a week. It just depends. And again, it depends on an individual's goals.
And what are your goals now? Can you share that with us? Like, what do you, because we're always on paths for improvement, but what do you hope to achieve?
I'm hoping to get up on stage and do my first show. It's something I've never done. And I think about this time every year I say I'm going to do one, and I just haven't done it. So that is probably my #1 goal as far as bodybuilding. I want to get up there on stage and compete. I want to compete with other competitors and see how I stand against the best of the best, if you will.
Okay, great. And see, now that you've said it publicly, now everybody's going to hold you accountable to that. So, so now, what type of advice would you give to somebody who, like, let's say somebody who is in a similar situation as you were? What advice would you give to somebody who's kind of just starting out and they're trapped in that bad diet syndrome where they've got the depression going on, they don't really want to move, they feel sluggish, they don't have the energy, and a lot of people, they might look at this and say, oh, I can't do that. Like, what do you say to somebody who says that to encourage them that they actually can? Yeah,
I could go so many directions with it, but I think the biggest advice I can give is train hard, eat right, and believe in yourself. And when you want to quit, when you want to give up, think about why you started. That's probably the best advice I can give. There's a lot of times where I want to pack it in. The cameraman will tell you. There's a lot of times. Surround yourself with good people that care about you, that'll help you. And just think about why you started. And that seems to help me. And again, setting goals, just take one thing at a time. For me, and some of the changes in my diet, what I try to do is I try to put in something new once a month. Next thing you know, you got a nice little list going there of changes that you've made, and then it becomes a lifestyle.
Okay, great. And so, I've heard you mention goals, and goals obviously are really important to people, and then also mentioning a support system. So, for some people, if they don't have a support system necessarily in place, are there things that you can recommend to them on how they can, are there places online that, I don't know if you're online a lot, but are there places online with forums where you can talk with other people, or is it in the gym that you talk to people and people can help you?
I would recommend the gym. Get yourself a membership at your local gym. Ask questions. Most gyms nowadays have trainers, personal trainers, and you don't have to hire them right away. You can ask them questions. Look around. Watch some of the other members and what they're doing. You can pick up a lot of knowledge and how to use certain equipment and stuff like that just by watching other members around. But yes, nowadays, online, you can find a lot of information just online. My current coach, Ben Pekulski, I found him online. So there's plenty of information on the internet. YouTube is another a good site. If you're unsure of how to do some things, you can just put in the search engine, a bench press, for example, and there's videos that'll show you how to do the standard bench press.
Okay, great. So you've talked a lot about goals. Can you, everybody sets their goals a little bit differently, but is there a process that you use at all to set your goals? Like, how do you remind yourself of the goal?
It's something I'm still working on, but what I try to do is, whether it's first thing in the morning or before I go to bed, I try to write things down that I want to accomplish for that day. Then you have short-term goals, long-term goals. With the new year still upon us, now is a good time to write down a list of goals that you want to accomplish by year's end. And they shouldn't matter what they are. The bigger the better. Dream big. That's what I try to do. And if it's something you want, go after it.
Right. Now, do you ever allow yourself any cheat days?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you have to reward yourself once in a while. I still eat my pizzas. Once in a while, I think I said it earlier, I was drinking a pop yesterday. I reward myself, but not anything like I used to do.
Okay. Yeah. And so do you like pre-plan those things, like like, okay, I've got an event that I want to go to and I want to be able to eat this, and so do you kind of plan around that?
If there for a while, I used to do it every Sunday.
Okay.
And I used to eat anything that I wanted, and I mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I sort of cut back on that, and now it's just maybe if something comes up, or worked over at, a little overtime at work, or maybe you had plans that didn't come through, didn't fall through or something, then your plans change. Things happen. And so right now it seems to be, it's nothing planned, it's more of spur of the moment type of thing.
Okay. And what do you do if you have a bad day? Like maybe you fall off the wagon unintentionally one day, or you just have a really bad day and you don't want to get into the gym. Does that ever still happen to you? Like, what do you do to get over that?
A lot of times I'll watch, I mentioned YouTube, I'll watch some videos, bodybuilding related, to get me back motivated, whether it's something, a motivational speaker, someone that, like you said, role model that you look up to. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of that person just to get me motivated again. Because yes, there are a lot of days where, I don't want to do it. I don't want to get up and go to the gym. I don't want to get up on a weekend and cook the foods that's required to get to where I want to be. So yes, there's a lot of days like that. And you just got to keep pushing. You got to get in the gym and try harder.
Right, and that's a good message is, basically if you fall down, you got to get back up. And, it's okay if you feel sorry for yourself for a little bit of time, because everybody goes through those emotions. But when it's a prolonged pity party, then that's when you maybe call in some reinforcements and try to go to that support system or go back to your goals, or try to get that assistance you need to get back on track to where you need to go.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If you do have a workout partner, that helps. Currently, I train by myself, so it makes it a little bit harder for me. But I did have a partner, when I first started off. And I knew if I wasn't there, he was going to be there. And he's someone that I looked up to at the time, and I wanted to get to where he was. So I know every day that I wasn't in the gym is a day that I lose from catching him.
Right. And it all goes back to accountability, too, because if, sometimes we don't hold ourselves accountable for things that we want to do, and that's a trap many people fall into. But when you have a workout partner or somebody that's also relying on you, now you're accountable to them, and so it's not just letting yourself down, it's you'd be letting somebody else down, and so that's usually enough inspiration to make somebody want to keep moving forward. If it's not for you, it's for them.
Yep. And first and foremost, you're doing it for yourself.
Right.
But you make a great point. If you do have that workout partner, it's a team effort. He's counting on you as much as you're counting on him.
Right. Okay, are there any other tips that you would like to share, or any other messages that you would like to get across to the audience?
If there's set goals, never give up. Do your homework, do your research. After all, the more you know, the more you grow.
Right.
And never give up. That's probably my biggest message.
Great. And I just want to bring the before and after picture up again so people can see where you started and where you ended up. And I know you're continuing and still growing and getting to your goal to be on stage to do your bodybuilding show. So we wish you luck with that.
Thank you.
We'll check back in with you and try to help hold you accountable there to help you reach your goal.
I'll do it. You keep checking in on me, and I'll do it. I promise.
All right. Maybe we can do a show on that.
There you go.
Well, I wanted to let people know that, like I said, we really wanted to just get regular people and start having them share their stories about the transformations they have made through regular diet and exercise and lifestyle changes, because this is something that anybody can do. If you have a goal and you don't like the current state that you're in, you can change it. And that's the message of this whole show, is to give you healthy tips and tricks to get there. But if you have a story, or if you know somebody that has a story that you think really needs to be shared, please contact me. You can go to my website at www.vegiepatty.com, or you can email me at vegiepatty@gmail.com and let me know, and we'll see if we can get you on an upcoming show. We're going to try to do several of these amazing transformation shows throughout the year, and we really want to get people out there to share their stories to help inspire other folks. So remember that no matter the cards that you were dealt or your current state of health, you have the power to take charge of your health. So never give up, never stop learning. The solution you seek may be just around the corner. Jeff, if you can join me in a toast to the viewers. We wish you a wonderful today and an even better tomorrow. Here's to your health.